What is up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today I'm just gonna go through my NinjaTrader settings, like all the settings on here. I think some for people that use NinjaTrader and want their platform to look similar to mine and the layouts to look similar to mine. I think this could be interesting and useful for you guys. And some people in the comments were asking about it. So yeah, we'll walk through all this stuff. And I'm a little sick right now, so if you're wondering, my voice is kind of messed up. And we actually didn't even trade today because I'm feeling pretty feverish and a little sick, but didn't want to keep you guys waiting. So all right, let's quickly go through this. So the first thing when you download NinjaTrader is I think the background is different. So I have a very clean white background. The way you're gonna do this is right click anywhere out here, hit properties, and then chart background white, and then crosshair labels black. Inactive price markers you can keep white, light gray, doesn't matter. And then text is also gonna be black. You want your text black. Another thing in here that I like to do, and you don't have to do this because, you know, maybe this benefits you. I keep my horizontal grid lines invisible. I just like a clean background, and if you were to have them visible, it would look like this. So the reason I don't like this is when I was using the grid lines in the past, the horizontal ones, I would sometimes like try to like just base my trade on like distance. So like if we're like right here, I would just be like, okay, the market can surely get, you know, past this grid line or like to this grid line. And I would sometimes trade distance rather than the good setups. But that's a personal thing. Everyone is different. You don't have to do that at all. But these are the default grid lines. If you wanted to change the grid lines, you can right click on the axis. And here you have range is fixed. That's probably what you're gonna want. Yeah, you're probably gonna want it fixed. And then your horizontal value you can change. So right now, as you can see, it's 5 points of distance. If you want like 2, you could change it. If you wanted like 1, you know, you get the idea. You can change it. So it's up to you. I personally, yeah, don't use grid lines, so I keep this invisible. Just a clean, nice background. Other than that, let me make sure if there's anything else in here. Let's see. Panel splitter, I think, is just like the day's end. That's fine. You can just leave that. So yeah, that's like the background stuff. So now into the data series. So if you double click on the candlesticks, it'll pull up this window. Here is where you set all your metrics for price, what you want to see. So price based on, again, you want last, you know, that's the way it goes. Type, you can use, you know, minute, second, whatever. Volumetric is also in here if you want footprint. For volumetric and actually for the order flow stuff, on NinjaTrader, you're gonna need to purchase the order flow, the bundle, or you're gonna need the lifetime membership. So I have the lifetime membership since I've been trading for almost 4.5, 5 years now. And it comes with all the order flow stuff. So you're not gonna be able to get some of these order flow things without that. I think the cost of the bundle is like 56 or 60 bucks a month. But if you're seriously considering trading and you have the money to spend on the lifetime membership, I would heavily, you know, recommend purchasing it. This is one of the best, most professional platforms that you're gonna get, and you might as well stick with it and learn the ins and out of it. So the main thing here is obviously my bars are not red and green, and this is where you change it. Color for down bars is black, color for up bars is white. Again, this is a personal preference. I don't like that. I don't like when the bars are red and green because I associate red and green with PNL, and I like price to just be price, and I don't like the colors like associating like with like green and red. That's a personal choice. Again, don't have to do what I do. That's just how I do it. This stuff is just like so if you want to see your trades during the day, you can you turn markers on, so you say markers only, and it'll show you your trades during the day, as you've seen in previous videos. And then this is just what it shows, where your entries and sells are. So that is that stuff. And then I guess in terms of indicators, now we're going to go through. So very basic stuff. So for my minute charts, I have a bar timer, which pretty much shows you the time left in your bar before the next bar is ready to start. And I actually use two separate charts. So what you're seeing here, this is my execution chart. So I execute my trades on this chart, and then I also have this on the other monitor. I have this 5-minute chart that I use for context. So this is a contextual chart. As you can see, I labeled it context chart, and we'll go through the differences here. But as you can see, let me pull this back up. On the right, it's this is the time remaining, and then and then on this chart, I use this indicator. I guess it's an indicator, but tick counter. So this shows the number of ticks left at the bottom right here in the current bar. So then you can be prepared for when the bar is going to close and a new one will form. Outside of that, I have the prior day open, high, low, and close. I personally do not look at the close, and I do not look at the open. Some traders do. All I really care about are the high and the low of the day. So I just uncheck these, and I checked high and low of the day. Again, if you want to look at close, open, go ahead. There's valuable info there. And then for the prior high, I just have, forest green, a dash solid line, width of 2. You can pause it and look at it. And then same, you can pause it and look at this for the prior low. And what that looks like, as you can see, is just these bars. So again, we are in this day. So the previous day high was here, so it marks the previous high, and the previous low was here, so it marks that. And as you go back and forth, it'll continue marking that. So tomorrow there'll be a green line here, and there'll be a red line here. It's just important to know, because daily support and resistance, whatnot. Other than that, this is the order flow trade detectors. So these are what creates these big orbs. So what these orbs are, if it's a green orb, it's a big sell. Or sorry, if it's a green orb, it's a big buying activity at a specific price. And if it's a red circle, it's a big sell order. And I like to keep, depends on the volatility of the day, but around on the ES. So if you're trading the ES, around 100 to 125. You got to change this daily depending on how volatile the market is. And then I keep the maximum marker size to 100. What that does is so if I were to drop this like 10, you'll see what happens. The orbs just become smaller, and it's hard to see where the bigger orders are relative to the smaller orders. And then when you put it back at 100, you'll see that, for example, where was it? Like here, there's huge orders coming in relative to all the orders in the last, 2 hours of trading. So you can see the relativity of the, size of orders coming in. Opacity, 50%, because you want to be able to see through them at the bars. Again, we're using price action with the supporting indicator of order flow. So you want to be able to see through these circles. Sometimes it's hard, but opacity 50%. Calculate on each tick. And then obviously it's going to be visible. So then the next thing is just a price line. This is extremely basic. This is just the price line right here. It just moves up and down with the price. Sometimes I like to keep, so there's two things. So if you hit Control Q, you get this grid line, or the crosshair. If you hit Control R, you get an arrow. I like to use shortcuts, makes everything easier, because my right hand's always on my mouse. So sometimes when I'm using the crosshair, I'm looking at what a certain level is relative to the price line. I want to see the distance a little bit. So the price line, all that does, very simple, just shows where the price currently is. And in order to get it the way I have it, you just want to show last line and switch off these two. You do not want those if you just want the last price. And then 100% length of the chart because you want it to go across. Again, up to you. And then you can pick your color. So just pick the color that you want. I picked dark cyan. And then obviously you have your basic EMA. So you can use whatever EMA you really want. I use a 20 bar EMA, 20 period EMA, because it's just industry standard. Some people like to use the 21 EMA because it follows the Fibonacci numbers a little bit. So some people use 21. In my honest opinion, it really doesn't matter. Use what you want to. I just have been using 20 forever. And then if you want my exact same color, it's goldenrod. And the width is actually 1. So I like to have it like more thin so it doesn't interfere with the wicks and what you're looking at. Because if you are like looking like pretty deep in here, like it can block some of the view of like these closes, some of these bars. So you just want it to look clean and everything. You do the way I like it is just to have it as clean as possible. So that's that. I want to show you something else that you might find interesting. So these are all my strategies on like that I've built. And so not every trade is built equal. Sometimes you'll have a setup that's your A+ setup. As you can see, is listed A+. You'll have your A setup, and then you'll have like an A or A- setup, or like a half risk setup. So you can't quickly, like sometimes you'll miss a trade if you have to like edit your setup. So I have everything pre-made. So as you can see, my basic setup, just A setup, is a 10 contract order quantity. If you go to my A+ setup, it's 2R. So I listed in here 2R, 20 contracts. And then if I have to drop down to half risk, it's 5 contracts. So everything is in here. And then I also have, if I'm trading the NASDAQ, A+ setups with a risk of 10, A+ setups with a risk of 20. All of this is just stuff that I use on the day-to-day. And it's nice to have it, just in there, so you don't have to do it on the spot. So that is the execution chart. The only difference between the execution chart and this context chart, as you can see, is again the bar timer and then the order flow. So what this is on the right is and I'm going to go through some shortcuts in a sec, but this is just the order flow volume profile. And in here, you just add, it's in this, if you scroll down right here, order flow volume profile, you add this. And what this is just obviously the volume at each individual price. And the POC is the main thing I look at. I just like to look at the distribution of volume on the context chart. Again, you're using this chart strictly for context to understand what the market is trying to do in, I guess, more of a macro sense. So my settings here, I don't like to look at like any deltas, anything. So all of these are white, so it's clean. The only thing that I look at is the shape of the profile, which is cayenne, as you can see. And then the POC, which is the point of control, which is the most traded price in the day, is just gold. And then in order to, I think, make it work, you need to, there's something here you need to change. So the value area percent, let me see this. Oh yeah, so this just gives a bottom line and a top line. You really don't need that. So make that invisible. You want your POC visible, obviously. Everything else I think is invisible. Initial PLC, you don't need that. Everything else, yeah, I think is invisible here. As you can see, I turned off everything for just a clean look. And then, yeah, that's it for this volume profile. The other thing, I think that's the only thing on this chart that's really different. So yeah, that's pretty much it on here. There was one other thing I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, your hotkeys. Okay. So drawing is important intraday because you want to create these trend channels and you want to create shapes or like whatever. Like, so the main things I use, and I'm going to show you how to hotkey these, but my control 2 is my channel. So easy, control 2 with your left hand. Control 2 is channel. Control 3 is just a price line, just a basic line. As you can see, you can draw it anyway. And my control 4 is, again, you're gonna need the lifetime package or the order flow bundle, but my control 4 is my order flow isolated layout. So like this is interesting because, like, for example, you see this move down. And actually, a perfect example of this is I was watching this trade earlier, but again, I was sick today, so I didn't take it. But what you can do is you can plot the order flow of this entire move up. So the order flow of this move up, and as you can see, you now have the profile, and you see that there's the most traded price is up here. So, and you can look at the order. So like, when there was big buying occurring here, which was supported here, and these buyers probably also supported this level and this level. So when the market created this POC and then came back down to these previous levels, it's reasonable to buy here and look for a swing back up here. And as you can see, this is a beautiful trade coming off of the value area low at the time, back to the POC. You can use it that way. You could even use it going counter trend from the POC to the value area low. But the problem with that is, you're going counter trend in a huge bull trend, so you got to be careful with that. But yeah, those are the main things. My FN, I think I have FN3 is my like a ruler. So in here it's the ruler is, I don't even, yeah, right here, F3. So what this does is, like, if you just want to quickly look at like what is the height of this to the low of this, it's negative 32 points. So you can just quickly look at that. My F4 is a risk to reward thing that I barely use, but you guys might find it interesting. So like how you use this is let's say like you enter here and your stop loss is down here. It just sets your 1-to-1 risk to reward, and then you can obviously move this and change it how you want. I don't really use it that much. But yeah, okay, so let me show you how to change those settings. So the way you change your hotkeys is you go into the actual control center. This is the control center. You go to tools and you go to hotkeys, and then in hotkeys here, your drawings are all on the bottom. So again, just literally change whatever you want, whatever is comfortable for you, and you can make whatever. Yeah, it's fully customizable. That's yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Those are all the settings. Let me think. So chart trader, I like to just keep it open because if the market's moving really fast, so you can have it hidden, but I like to keep it open because if the market's moving really fast, sometimes you just want to hit buy the market or sell the market. And then, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Let me just make sure. Yeah. Oh, another thing, customizing your drawings. I'm glad I remember this. So again, I like to keep everything super clean. So the default drawings for this, I think are, the width is 2. So what I did is I like it to have it. I like to have things very like small so it doesn't block my view of the bars. So I changed the width to 1, and then if you want to save it, you hit template, and then you hit save, and then you hit save as default, and your drawing will be saved as that, and as like that color and everything. And then again for this same exact thing, you do that, and then here you I can change the color and then the width and everything, opacity, and yeah. So yeah, I hope you guys found value in this. Maybe give you some ideas to change your layouts. And yeah, catch you guys in the next one.